Using my phone overwhelming my brain. A brief physiological description of a behavior. This is a mock TED Talk by Ruben Godinez Paramo of the University of Arizona Global Campus. Introduction. I read that to create a great talk, I needed to capture my audience. For some reason, my first thought was to get my cell phone out of my pocket and take a screenshot of the article I was reading in my laptop. I thought, this is odd. Why did I pull out my phone if the article is on my laptop? Why did I think of that first than anything else? That's because I tend to forget. If you're anything like me, you might have experienced that sometimes scrolling down an app, browsing the web and apps on our devices, we find something that we are not looking for, but it will make a great procrastination project. So we take a screenshot of it because we are 100% sure that we will forget about it in the next 10 seconds or until by accident we stumble upon it, distracting us again in the future. So let's talk about phones and distractions, but first let's go and check what we are dealing with. Analyzing using our phone as a behavior. Some of these senses involved in the processes of using our devices are visual, auditive, and working memory interaction, to mention some. In the past, we used to stimulate our visual cortex with books, auditive processes with music, and so on. Never before had a single device provided so many different stimuli to our brain so quickly and so easily accessible as do our smartphones. fMRI studies have shown that our brain lights up on the left side in response to language usage, reading words, while the right lateralization activation corresponds to spatial positioning processes. Same study, some results seem to suggest that different types of categories of stimuli like faces, buildings, and letters share a common space when interacting with each other. When you see a face, an area will lit up, but the other two areas also will lit up. So the images and sounds in our smartphone stimulate not only image recognition areas, but also faces, buildings, spatial positioning, and language stimuli, utilizing the same time right and left lateral parts of the brain as well ventral temporal cortex. In a study from the University of Arkansas in Monticello, Lee et al. Published an article in 2021 where 218 some students participated in an interaction with phones and others didn't have a phone. See how distracted they get while attending a lecture. The study found that our phones cause more than one type of distraction. They cause two types, exogenous and endogenous. Exogenous distractions are present in the form of notification sounds, ringtones, and incoming calls. Uh, Second-hand use of sounds, your neighbor using the phone is going to distract you. That's an exogenous. Endogenous are the ones that are coming from inside, like the fear of missing out and the anxiety that we feel when we cannot access our phone. In another study from Sprague, Esther, and Sorensis, where two groups walking next to a set of objects trying to identify the objects they passed by. Some group used the phone, some group didn't. The group that used the phone did poorly when trying to remember what objects did they walk by. Summary, we learned to recognize that our brain is working hard while interacting with our cell phone devices, creating an overload of our working memory, sensory motor system, and attention spans. That is why we cannot retain the information we pass by while scrolling down through our phones, screens, and apps. We have a recommendation for you. We recommend limiting the prolonged use of our phones and handheld devices. Maybe try turning it off for a brief period of time and then increase the times that you turn it off gradually until you feel free of fear of missing a call, a text, or trending topic, or not being able to post a picture to social media. Gradual desensitization is a form of therapy used for treating phobias, and other forms of anxiety triggered by exposure. Ethical considerations can be those most vulnerable populations not being able to use their turn off their phones devices. For example, people living with Alzheimer, elderly, or children that need to call for help and might forget to turn on back the device. Now that we know that too much stimuli can cause a cognitive overload, let's take better care of our brains and give it a break. Thank you.